what are the current or perhaps newer forthcoming threats to our civilizational security, and how do we tackle them?
So, my artificial intelligence book and various talks based on it point out that this AI is making the algorithms more and more intelligent, and you are being managed, and the things that you are encountering, what you like through your email and search and all that, and also what is managing you and controlling you through your social media, are all based on algorithms. And these algorithms are more and more AI based. They're pretty much all of them are AI based. So we are entering an age of AI based cyber warfare, psychological warfare, and this is a big weapon for what I call Breaking India 2.0. So Breaking India 2.0 is basically the Breaking India forces, which are various divisive forces in India aligned with global nexuses, whether it's some evangelism, whether it's some Islamic group, whether it is some leftist group, or whatever it is. The different groups in India that are anti-India, that are not interested in the unity of India, but in some other aspect of it, including Khalistanis. They're aligned with various global nexuses. That's the Breaking India scenario that I brought out. But now I'm saying Breaking India 2.0 is that these entities, the global nexuses that are controlling the Indian entities, are very savvy with the new technology, the new digital technology. They know how to hack into your brains, how to hack into your your emotional side, how to make the which group of Indians. So imagine if there's a riot going on, they're listening, and through natural language processing, they're looking at the sentiments of what people are saying. Are they angry? Are they happy? Are they fearful? Which among them can be aroused to make become angry and do something against others? Uh, in whatever language they may be speaking, Punjabi, it doesn't matter. The machine learning things can listen to all that and learn all that. So the ability to in real time understand the psychology and emotional state of 1,000,000,003 people all over through their buzz with each other, and the ability to come up with the behavior profile, what is their behavior, what is the mechanism by which they think, which ideology do they belong to, can they be converted to from this ideology to that ideology, what type of fake news will this person like, will that person like. Do you know, every time you click something, your profile is updated in the machine learning system as to what you clicked for, when you clicked, why you clicked, in what circumstances you clicked. All kind of detailed parameters about that situation are codified, and so a record of who you are and what your behavior is gets updated all the time. So this insight into the large psychology of so many Indian people is real time and very smart. No human beings alone sitting around, even if you had an army of several thousand people watching and observing, they would not be able to do such a good job. So this map into the minds of Indians and other people also is very dangerous, because now they know how to exploit you. How now they know what type of fake news you will listen to, what will make you happy, what will make you angry, so they can play that. Just like Cambridge Analytica it was used by Russians to hack into the US elections in 2016, and this became big news. Similar things happening in India, but India doesn't know it. And so India is for sale because its data is for sale, and its digital infrastructure can be hacked. It's the Chinese hacking the Mumbai power grid, which they tried to, and there are two stories on whether they succeeded or didn't succeed. But it's quite a shame that they were able to get in and hack this. So they can hack into all kinds of things. They can hack into military systems. So the future threats are AI based, and India hasn't woken up. And I have tried to, for the last few years, given many talks to the government people, various officially, unofficially, whether it's a minister, whether it's their babus, talk to public intellectuals. I don't think that India gets it. I think that India is very superficial about it. They claim that it's all under control, and they'll give you an example here and there. But when you look deep inside, India's investment in AI is very small compared to other countries. It's starting too late, and it's not strategic, and it's not big enough to protect India. So I feel that India is at serious risk of these Breaking India 2.0 forces that are interested in finishing off the country. They want to just finish off the country. And the external threats, you look at China, it's way ahead in AI and making so many weapons, so many new kinds of drones and new, robotic soldiers and under the sea submarines that are driverless and snooping around. All of this is going on. And India is now, within the last 8-9 months, they've just started waking up that, hey, this is happening. And so far it's writing papers and concepts and proposals and allocating some high level budgets. But in earnest, India is not hasn't geared up to face this next revolution. So think of this as follows. Britain became a colonial power because of the Industrial Revolution.
Mm-hmm.
If there were no Industrial Revolution, they would not have become so mighty. Mm-hmm. But before the Industrial Revolution, India had more manufacturing than Britain.
Right.
But they denied India the Industrial Revolution. They did it, and Indians were not allowed to set up those kind of factories with electrical things and all that, electrified, machines. So the Industrial Revolution in England, and then the French also got involved in it, created a new world order, created haves and have-nots, and who became colonizer and who became a colony. It was just determined by the technology. So you see, the technology has completely wiped out civilizations sometimes, turned people into slaves. Weapons, Babur brought cannons, into India. So the Battle of Panipat, famous. And by other Europeans brought by sea on boats, they brought the cannons. And so Indians didn't have the cannons, even though cannon had existed in Europe and in various places for a long time, but Indians didn't bother to understand it and bring that technology. So Indians faced the cannon with elephants, and elephant run away. When you blow a cannon, a few cannons can finish off a whole elephant army. Mm-hmm. So we just didn't know this. We are too proud. And that's the same situation today when I go around telling people about what are the threats. So your question is a very important one. When I answer it, give people details, they don't want to hear about it. They want only good news. They keep telling me how we did well in this and that. Okay, we did very well in a lot of things, and that we should be proud of that. But where we are vulnerable is the weakest link in a chain that breaks it. Mm-hmm. When you pull the chain, you can have many, many strong links, but you have one weak link, it breaks it. So you always have to look at where are we most vulnerable. And I would say we are most vulnerable in the coming onslaughts with artificial intelligence, both internal breaking India forces and external threats. Mm-hmm. And our over-emotional youth and over-emotional population is highly vulnerable to this kind of AI threat. Mm-hmm.
Namaste. We hope you enjoyed this Chitti Media content. Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.